Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Galley La Podcast. I'm your host, Geboss, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Akainu Fanboy.
Yo.
And today we're going to be talking about Chapter 1135, Camaraderie Cups. And please let us know what you thought of the chapter. Give us a like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. And yeah, let's just start off with the best cover story that Oda's ever done.
Mm.
I mean, I do like the contrast. Like, we see that Tama was able to rescue herself this time rather than relying on Luffy. It shows her growth.
Yeah, for sure. Just, we had enough of that in Wano.
Yeah. But yeah, Oda wants to show us Wano for something. I wonder if there's going to be some major lore drop in here. But speaking of lore drops, we switch over to the Owl Library, where we kind of get the explanation about why the books are getting so big from the head librarian, who I think we kind of talked about it last week, that we thought that the owl was the one that was doing this, and we got the confirmation.
Yes. Goated owl.
Yeah. Bibelot?
Bibelot.
Yeah.
Goated owl. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't trust that owl though. Cause
why? He's pretty cool.
I don't know. It's just that final panel where you see him and he's just kind of watching him with the blank eyes.
That's what owls do though.
I don't know. I don't trust it. It's a spy.
They can't all be like Chopper.
Yeah. But I mean, they are kind of setting up that Chopper may learn something.
Wow, that's great. Character development.
Yeah, give him something to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, the owl's ability is their rear fruit, which I wouldn't say the official translation for this because it just seems kind of strange.
Mm-hmm.
But then we switch over to Luffy and Usopp playing with the kids, and we see Nami beating them up in her usual way. And yeah, any thoughts about this section here?
You just kind of when it gets onto the peaceful stuff, and I kind of just thought it was interesting how they're going to make that more and more a theme, the pacifism of Elbaf right now, which I don't think really anybody saw that one coming to, so I kind of thought that was interesting.
Yeah. I wonder if Oda's going to maybe do some commentary that it can't be all pacifism and it can't be all war, there has to be like some sort of balance. But,
right.
I don't know if it's just me though, but I'm kind of sick of the whole Momonosuke gag thing with him shoving his face in the boobs.
Yeah, it was like we got enough of that at one. It was like no.
Yeah.
Cover story and with this gag. It's like no, you can stop.
Yeah. But then we get Luffy versus Colin, the match of the ages.
Yes.
Where Luffy just goes gear third on him. Like, I don't know, that just kind of came out of nowhere.
That should have been gear 4.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I do kind of like Colin, how he's kind of idolizing Luffy because he's on the same level as Shanks and everything.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how like we have this whole setup here where it's you have Saul, you have Robin, you have Chopper really into the books, and it's a good way to just kind of show the other side of their characters, the side of gags, which is great. And then Luffy, again, that's just naturally what he would do. You just start fighting with people, even in the midst of a library. That's just how he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's interesting that Colin's the one that's kind of the odd person out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then we see that Ripley's his mom, and his father is a human, and I think if you don't think too much about it, it's fine. But it's kind of like how canonically Big Mom has children with Tontatas.
Yeah.
Just
Just don't think about that.
yeah. But I think I was reading something. Someone pointed out that I think in the previous chapter, when Colin was being sent with this basket that he delivers to his mom, he said that it was for both of his parents. So it can be assumed that that means his dad is on Wano. Oh, Wano, not on Elbaf. So do you think that it's the mysterious person, or what?
Yeah, it's a possibility for sure. Yeah, that was one thing I was kind of thinking about.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, and then they kind of bring up that he's really the only one that would get old, which there was a theory that I was reading about from previous chapters about the time dilation of Elbaf. Have you heard about that one?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. Someone suggested that because there was the warning that don't stay on Elbaf for too long, so maybe like time passes slower in Elbaf rather than and it passes regular speed in the real world, so more stuff could be happening outside than in Elbaf, which kind of plays into the growing old aspect of it. But
yeah, right.
But yeah, I think that would be. I don't know how much credence there is to that theory, but it's interesting to think about. But yeah, and then we see them all getting ready to go to the feast. Everyone's dripped out in their Elbaf attire. I really like Frankie with the beard.
Yeah. It's always cool to see the new fits and everything. Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, more merchandise.
Let's go.
Yeah. But yeah. And Frankie brings up the Atom Tree part of it, which was on my bingo card that they're putting emphasis on it. So I think that's going to play some plot point.
For sure.
And yeah, go ahead.
No. Yeah. So there's a potential for the Sunny to take some damage, and then they could repair it, or they could give us some nice upgrades.
Yeah. But speaking of taking damage, do you want to talk about this next part here with not Shanks and the random female?
I thought the female was interesting. Like, first just asking, and then the translation's a little weird. She's like, "Oh, well, I was never asking to begin with," Like at first she says like, "Oh, this is a waste of time," and then she's like, "Oh, I wasn't asking to begin with." So I'm not sure if she was trying to seem civil or not, We can safely assume that she was just putting on an act, really, but just trying to get out information. And it's still kind of unclear what her power is, but she more or less one-shots a giant,
Yeah.
And the giants repeat that story when it comes to, oh yeah, like Loki, committed regicide, killed the king and all the rest, and that's why this castle's empty.
Yeah.
And they can't show him to Loki because they might break Loki free. So it's interesting how they want to bring Loki back. So more than likely they're going to try to release Loki, but they'll do a lot of damage in the process too. Maybe they'll blame it on Luffy for freeing Loki, and Luffy won't end up doing it,
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that they're specifically going after Loki himself.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're after his fruit, maybe. Because I need to read up again about how long he's been chained up on the tree. But yeah, I think it would be interesting. But I also want to point out that we have not seen not Shanks. We just see kind of his silhouette in this chapter. We don't see his face at all.
Yeah.
So Oda's saving it for something.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I wonder what their connection is, like if they have similar powers to the Gorosei or not, because they appeared on the summoning circle, same as them.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, probably definitely similar powers. Now, I think like kind of their purpose, though. I was kind of thinking about it, like why now would they do this?
Mhm.
Because this issue with Elbaf has been going on forever. Well, they probably feel pressured by Joy Boy, and I think kind of by doing this, they're going to somehow hurt the Straw Hats in some way, or they're doing this to attempt to destroy the Straw Hats in some way, or
Yeah.
maybe one of the last poneglyphs is here, and that Loki might know where it is,
Yeah. That could definitely be it.
and they want to safeguard it, because like, what's the impetus for them to do this right now,
Yeah. Because maybe Luffy would be able to learn something about Joy Boy and Nika and the Sun God on Elbaf, because they worship the Sun God. So him like learning more about it could pose a threat.
Yeah, or even just the history of the library too,
Yeah, that's true.
like they could maybe release or manipulate Loki to destroy the library, or just cause something. They just don't want these two elements to, get in the way,
I mean, I didn't even really think about this, like the implications of the library. Like a lot of the ancient history is all in that library. So yeah, that could pose a big threat to the world government.
So instead of sending a whole naval force and getting wiped out because they're kind of occupied anyways, it would be better maybe to cause like a civil war or to release Loki, kind of thing, to cause the chaos, right? To destroy the library potentially in the process,
Yeah. Yeah, because everything's going way too well for the Straw Hats right now, because they were reunited with Saul. They're welcomed openly.
Yes.
Like they're having this feast right now. And yeah, it is cool to see them feasting though with all the giants. They're finally,
Sure.
they're finally in Elbaf. And
Yeah.
I had completely forgotten though that Stassen was the one in the slave house with Rayleigh.
Yeah, I forgot about that too. Yeah.
Yeah. I had read up on it, but it completely like left my mind.
Yeah.
Because
I agree.
Yeah, he looks pretty different except for the scar. Like with the beard and the mustache and everything. But yeah, it's showing how like both Haruden and Stassen are kind of indebted to Luffy.
Yeah.
And then we see the big boy, Mountain Beard Jarl, and he's the oldest living giant, which is kind of interesting. But he's only like 408, so he doesn't have he doesn't know too much of the history, but he could potentially have known it from like his grandfather or father or something if they lived that old.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the events that have transpired over the years,
Yeah.
Nolan would be one, right? Nolan would be one. I mean, yeah, obviously God's Valley could be another one too, which could have happened, and I mean, any other thoughts that kind of come up to you? What do you think?
No, I would have to go back through the timeline to kind of see everything that is of note that he would have been alive for,
The German Kingdom would be one too.
Yeah.
Because that happened about 300 years ago.
Well, you know who has a connection to both Germa and Jarl? Big Bomb.
Big Mom. Yep. Yeah.
He's coming
about
back.
300 years ago. Yeah, so there's that, and I'm trying to think of any other potential timeline stuff that could pop up, but I think those are kind of like the main ones that come to mind,
Yeah, but who knows? He might not remember anything because he literally has a sword through his head.
Unless Chopper fixes it, or Luffy punches him so hard in the head that the sword goes away.
Yeah, Chopper's just gonna give him a magic pill.
Yeah. But that'd be bad writing.
He got it from the
bad writing. That's never happened before. That'd be terrible writing if that happened.
Yeah. But yeah, I think everything's going too smooth right now. But but yeah, this is just a random thought, but do giants ever stop growing? Because like we see this giant, he's the oldest, and he's clearly like the biggest out of everyone. You know, just a random thought.
No, right. Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, I hadn't thought about the growth process.
But yeah, interesting chapter to end off the year. I feel like we're gonna get a lot of lore dumps in the coming year, and yeah, a lot of behind the scenes action with Not Shanks and Bandage Lady.
Right.
Yeah, but any other thoughts from you?
No, that's about it. That's the kind of thing, the objectives of the world government and all the rest. So I think it's pretty straightforward. And we're probably going to get some crazy action pretty soon.
Yeah. Slow ramp up into the action. But yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, let us know what you guys thought of the chapter. Once again, like and comment and subscribe if you enjoyed our stuff. And we will see you in the next video. Take care.
Peace.